All right. After yesterday's fiasco and noticing that I did not have anything for the sewing. Oh, and I've got something way too loud over here. For the sewing. Oh, and I've got something way too loud over here. All right. Okay, don't need an echo. We're going to show you how to sew the banner flag because it's missing a whole bunch of it. We're going to show you how to sew the banner flag because it's missing a whole bunch of it. I don't think, and so that way you have the complete video. Okay, so this is the completed one. And it's got fairy lights on it. Let me show you. And 33 feet of fairy lights sucks. I'll tell you that right now. And I'd spent all night charging it to make sure this one worked. My husband likes the random twinkles. So it's going to go outside tonight and I'll get pictures of it. Maybe it's not random twinkles. Anyway, that is the finished banner with everything. The wire on here kind of sucks. I did better on the other one, but it's already out. So, with this one, yeah, it worked. I just can't remove it. And it's got a nice little solar light. So, every time we do lights, and even if they're LED, they always seem to kill our bill for some reason. So, we are no longer doing plug-in lights. So, I got my wire underneath my camera, so I'm wiggling the camera to get stuff out of the way. Okay. So, I grabbed some different fabric because I'm not sure I had enough of the other. So, this is probably going to be a combination of stuff. Let's not kill. I don't know if I have enough to do. I know it's long enough. I don't know if it's, well, it might be wide enough. Do a slightly wider one with this one. Let's move the red. Let's move the ironing board and the other board. So I'm not going to do a print again today. We're just going to do the sewing. So it's going to be a shorter stream. That way when I post it on Facebook, all of the stuff will be there. And I'll have to check the other videos to make sure which ones I'm actually going to repost because, well, I think I'm going to delete some once I get it fixed. Okay, so, oops, I'm ripping my paper. Oh, and I have no music. Let's play the music. Alright, music is Harris Heller. He has free, copyright-free streaming music, so it's free and free. So you can use it for your streams. The link is in the About page. Also, I'm using, for my camera, I'm using DreadCam Plus. I get, oh, we don't like you people. We have to fix that. I don't like advertisements on my page. Alright. So, I want real people on my page, not freaking bots. So, thinking about that, I should make my husband watch. Anyway, be right back. Thank you.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings?
Oh, look, in an ad.
About getting savings.
Because I'm doing
Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save
it on my music is on
and
Spotify.
Save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or click to get a quote. Find out how much you can save.
I'm not paying for it, so.
Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company.
All right.
Smoothbrook, Illinois.
So let's see how long this piece is. Oh, it's exactly the length I want because I've been doing them wrong. I need it 13 inches so that. Oh, I need good scissors. Scissors! Hiding in the back. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm beating up my easel. Okay, so I'm using spool thread. So, it's not really made for it. So you gotta have it go over. I used to have a little cone-like thing, but this is what's gonna work for now. So anything will work if you're using spool thread. It's a lot cheaper to buy. And I have tons of it somewhere. What was I sitting on? Oh, my tomato. My pinned tomato. I'd have one. My mom always had one. I always liked hers. Nice little sharpening thing. I'm not sure it works as well. This one's too coarse. I bought this one after. This one doesn't seem to really work. So the coarse one just makes it harder to push in for some reason. So, all right. Now, let's see if we can get a successful cut here. Oh, I should aim the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Music just seems a little loud. Keeps wanting me to listen to something called, I don't know, some other weird music that I'm pretty sure is not copyright free, so. Oh, I probably should turn the iron on so it's warm when I need it. And I'm still water. Some iron. I'll just have to iron that out when I'm done cutting. This is a lovely little folding table I got on clearance for like $9, $15, like that. They're normally really expensive, and I really needed a folding table. This one has short and long, so you can make the legs shorter or longer. And I used lots of Amazon paper to make it covered so that, you know, if I spill something on it. So that's good use for, you know, all that brown paper you get from Amazon. It's great for crafting. So iron this a little bit because I got wet and two. It's got some wrinkles. This is just, you know, a little mini cheapo ironing board. It has legs, but I don't use them very often. I had to make a new top for it because buying one was about the same price as buying a new freaking ironing board. So all I did was did fabric, tied a hem around it, put string on it, string, tied it around, put some towels, cut some towels under it, you know. Good to go. It's not perfect. So I need to quilt it or quilt the stuff underneath or something. Alright, so what side is going to be my front? That side, because I like the black. I'll start this side. And I don't always use pens, I'm using minimal. So use as many as you think you need. Put them in this way, so that when you sew over it, it's not focusing very well. Autofocus. Yeah, it's sort of doing it. When you sew over it, it'll sew over it, it will not break your needle as often. I've done it, so it still does it once in a while, but makes it easier. Makes it less likely, not totally not likely, so just the way things are. Do something goofy? I'll just cut it strange is all. Drawer out of the way. Let's go a bit more. Using a Singer Sledge-O-Matic. It was made in 1964. It's ancient. It's metal. It's heavy little bitch. See if we can get that to focus a little bit better. Oh, that's as good as we get, I guess. Okay. Put my shoes on. It's easier to just my shoes off. Okay. So, most people just follow the guidelines. I'm cheating because I have lines on my thing. So, back and forth. So, a little bit of the biggest stitch, though. And you just pull out your pins as you go on. If you hold, don't tug hard. If you hold fabric, hold it kind of straight. Where are we going? We clawed. I'm having a problem. Houston, we are having a problem. I got jammed. Oh. Not sure what that was all about. So let's start over. I'm not gonna unstitch what I already did. I'm just gonna a little further. Alright, so hold it just kind of straight. It will feed itself. Don't force it. You can break your needle, break your thread, all kinds of fun stuff. And I broke tons of needles, so I should aim this down just a little bit more because I keep bending over. And so I have like 200. Pull this out. You can leave them in. Just go slower over your needle areas. 4/4 because I don't like it coming unstitched on me. This in the camera. New part. And we'll swing back out. Alright, so I'm going to turn this right side out. It's really easy to do when it's big. Nice. And easy. Make sure my hem is flat-ish. We're gonna sew it like this. Cut the crease there. Sew it like this, or iron it like this first. And get to our. This is the fold that the fabric came folded on, and it's not always perfect, but that's what I'm using as my center line. Iron that nice flat. Iron this one flat. I'm using steam iron. It's always better to use distilled water in your steam iron, even though it says you can use regular water, which I don't like using regular water, because it'll make your iron last longer if you use distilled water. This is just unhappy. Keep it nice and crisp. Be crisp. Okay. So, got that part. And that gets it there for a minute. I'm not sure how many of these I can do out of this. How many do I need? I need
Triscuit crackers are here to save you from falling into a snacking rut with their satisfying crunch, delicious flavor, and wholesome ingredients as you tackle your to-dos. Like crushing that conference call from your bathroom.
Thank you, virtual bathroom.
I still need my iron.
Bring it! Or playing tug-of-war with your dog with one hand while you draft up an email with the other. Bring it! You bring it to everything you do. And so do Triscuit crackers. Get your box at Amazon.com/Triscuit.
Alright. So, with the second sheet, I can just do it on scene. More than likely, you'll have to measure if you're not using nice gridded or lined fabric. But once you iron it, see, like, right here, you can use your piece of scissors. You can use that for your guideline. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you can use pinking shears, but you don't really need to. This is what I just tried to grab. You want nice sharp scissors, ones I don't use on paper or anything like that. You see all those jokes about, you know, using the scissors on paper. Well, paper is bad for scissors. You want fabric only scissors. I don't have expensive ones, unfortunately. These were like $8 or something at Walmart. So, they aren't extravagant. So can I get 2 of them? Maybe. Alright, I'm gonna do. We're just gonna see. We're making it easier to. If you iron it beforehand, it makes it a lot easier to do a lot of this stuff. You don't have to do as many stitching. You know, as much lining up. Of course, I'm getting rid of my center seam, unfortunately. And this is approximately 1/2 inch by the 1/8 seam. No, nothing extravagant. I just happen to have this fabric as well. It was free. Back this way because this is my main side. Tens. Make sure my black is all nice and even. Oops. No, that's a bit on me. Oh, and I'm not quite done. So, which is my front? This is my front. So we're gonna make the pole. It's gonna be on this side. So this is where my flap is gonna be. So we're gonna do this over here. We're gonna cut the corners, but not right to the corner. Just makes it a little less bulky. This one. What we're doing, I'm just lining it up the bottom. So all this excess. Just gets in the way and it'll like stick out. You're all done and it gets annoying. Okay. So, you're gonna put this, halfway in between somewhere. Well, this initial fabric, it's 20 inches long. So, 20 inches long by 26. If you're doing a one piece, if you fold it in half, obviously 13. Definitely pinning this part. Oh, do I want to do this way? No, I don't want to do this way. I'm going to do this. Okay, so we're pinning this to the back side. Sorry. To make it a little bit easier. So we want it to go just a little bit past. Just a little bit easier. And we're laying it up even, so it's gonna make it a little bit longer. This is gonna be, approximately 22 inch diameter. This is 3-inch total thing, I think. Here's my rulers. Oh, 4 inch. 4 inches wide, including that. So we're doing the back side to the back side. And like I said, you need more pins, do more pins. I don't need as many. I probably don't need any, but we're being paranoid. Okay, so we're gonna do 5/8. Or wait, is that where I want? Yeah, somewhere around there. Well, probably closer to half. So we want that black line to show. So 4/8. Oh, I guess I know it's the back side, doesn't it? Oh, we're gonna do part of that line. It's about half. So forward, backward, forward. And throw it on the floor where you can get stabbed with it. Same thing, just hold it, let the machine feed itself. Line it up with your lines. You got lines here. And if you sway a little bit, you know, it happens. Although my thing is drifting. And if you start to get pucker, well, pull out your next pin, straighten it up. Flag itself. I'm not going to sew any further. Then iron it again. Oh, that's special. Okay, fine. That way. I didn't need to do all that, but whatever. I should have unfolded that, so that's okay. We'll just work with it. It'll be a little shorter. Hell, my 2 banners I did before are different sizes, and you can't even tell. There's gonna be a problem over here. So we're gonna cheat. Sure how I'm gonna cheat. Let's try that. See if that works. It's doable. Do as I say, not as I do. So the back side should have been unfolded. Sorry. It's not along that fold line, which you probably didn't really have to fold it, but okay. So it's gonna look a little different than my other ones. And I'm not going to bother to pin this. Throw it down there. first stitch first. Some machines have a button you just press, and I like this one better because you don't have to hold the freaking button down while you're sewing. You can sew backwards the entire time if you really felt like it. Okay, so we're going to sheet right here. We're going to needle all the way down, lift up the pressure foot, and you can do a nice little corner this way. So, fix that a little bit. Let's get the ironing board out of the way. Might be a little easier to sew without it. Light reinforced stitch here. We're just going to go straight down. Oh, and because I missed. Oh, I fixed it though. So how far do I want this to fold? Pretty much like that. Smaller. I forgot to do this part really quick, but we can do it while it's sitting here because I got the portable ironing board. Same thing as the other end. There we have your size, flat, cut your corners. Also make sure the corners don't stick out, which they like to do a lot. Make sure it's kind of even. It's gonna look a little strange in the back, but you don't really see the back sides of these for the most part. Using black thread on black, you know, you won't really see the stitches much. Your fabric's really thin, which this kind of is. Sometimes you have to help it along. And I'm doing this slow because I don't want to go too fast. Sometimes you can jog it if you don't care. It's just part you won't really see. There. Now always lift, make sure this is almost all the way up. This part. Oops. This. Because sometimes the thread stays underneath and it can cause tangle issues. Okay, so we've got that part done. Got lots of way too long thread through here. Just gonna cut those. And mostly we have music because total silence makes me crazy. So I like something going on. I prefer different music, but it's better than nothing. Alright, so now we're gonna do, made these yesterday basically, it's just sewed straight across. It was a mistake actually. So these are gonna be my highlighted looking holders to whatever they are, top something. We aren't going to go very far with these. Let me build turns inside out real quick. So, yesterday I used this, it seemed to work. You don't need something as long as your item turn it right side out like this. Takes a little practice. But you can do it. Just grab the outside fabric, slide, slide, slide. Oops, kind of cramming it down here. And once you get your top piece all the way through, you just do that and easy. Yeah, straighten this just a little bit because when I trim it, flat. Not worried about that because I'm going to be trimming it off. Try to get it at the seam a little wider. Doesn't like me. And I should talk a little louder, sorry. Sometimes I'm really loud, sometimes I'm really quiet. It just really, get that seam flat and then fix it. Okay. Should have more black on the top. It'll do. So, on the one I already made, which I can't really take it off because I did it all wrong. So, the pieces folded, they're about, there's no exact science to this, so you can make them as long or short, or you could just do a strip that goes all the way across and slides over this pole, as long as it's big enough to go over this little curvy thing here. And a smidgen longer, so it has the more hanging in. That looks good. I don't know what I'm going to do with this other banner. Figure something out. And my other ones will just measure. And my other one's short. Why is it short? I don't know. If it's long enough, I'll unstitch it. Let's see if I can unstitch it. Kind of do it pretty intense. Make a mistake, unstitch. Make a mistake cutting, well, I guess it's going to be recut. Which I did that yesterday quite a few times. Alright. See if I all I'm gonna send. Otherwise, the rest are gonna be cut to this one as well. I want them all the same way. Am I missing some stitches here? Come on. Go away, stitches. Pull excess threads. Hopefully that's not my dog. Hopefully it's like neighbor dogs. My dog shouldn't be out front. Why is this being a pain? Because it's got annoying stitching in here that doesn't want to come out. Get little excess threads all over this. Alrighty, now we're gonna come off shorter. Sloop. That way they're all the same. It hates. Don't be such a knife. Well, it's gonna be underneath anyway.
It's red
Oh, there's
with heated seats
Serious
Hold
air
it in there
conditioning.
somewhere.
and that little compartment thingy, you know, where you put your sunglasses.
You found the perfect car. Now get the perfect loan with Ascend. We've got low rates, flexible terms, and you can apply online at
All right.
ascend.org.
There we go.
Any of our branch
3 all the
locations.
same size.
I'm gonna name her.
These are gonna be
Auto
my
loans
fronts.
From Ascend Federal Credit Union.
Black,
Banking
black, black.
without the
Okay.
Ascend is federally
Well, I
insured
have
by
enough.
NCUA.
Do
All
the other
loans
part,
subject
or
to
do I have to do
credit
that
approval.
red? I might have to do a red. Let's find out. So I need 3. It's pushing it. Oh, I got really crooked. That's what my confusion is. I mean, where you can use it like one of those roller cutters and use a ruler or something like this. Big metal ruler works better. And just, you know, tape your ruler down on both ends, and then slide your stuff underneath, and that way you don't have to hold the ruler as hard. And then you just cut with a rolling blade. I've not been real successful with the rolling blade, so I have 2 of them. I'm not really great with them. Not sure what the deal is. User error or something. Alright, so this is gonna be my front one. a really small edge there. It'll be okay though. Didn't change my music, did it? That would be bad if it did. Oh, it's still his music. Okay. I'll get in trouble for saying copyrighted music on something I don't have permission to use copyrighted music on. This is my back side. Ow. And I'm talking way too quietly. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm just, you know, used to talking to myself, but not loudly. Because, you know, like, you know, you're crazy. Ooh, ooh. What are you doing with this? The backside, it doesn't have to look as fantastic. And irons burn. Careful. Move this down a little better. So you see I'm doing better. So just want it the same width as this one. Technically, I've actually used rulers to iron on. If I haven't, I can show you. As long as it's a metal ruler. Most of my rulers are on the wall, so they're easy. So I have actually done stuff like this. Little cheating trick here. Just be careful, that metal gets really hot. Yeah, you can finish ironing it once you have it all there. I need it a little smaller, but it works. Just don't bring yourself on the ruler. And I think my next Saturday I'll do masks. So that, you know, COVID is still pretty rampant, so. I'll get some masks done and then I can send them to people that I promised to send. So maybe I should put that on my Saturday. I put it as painting, but maybe I'll change it. Unless I'm really, ow, it's still hot. Alright. I'm not going to use those for a minute. Just go over there. Alright. So this is my top with nothing on there. So line this one up with the edge, just even with the edge. Even a little bit in if you want. Bring a little bit in. Line up the black lines. So, oh, that's not my front though. This is my front. So, you know, whatever, ½ inch, inch, depends on how long you made this, how far you want to go down. You don't want to go too far down, you want to be able to you're covering that. And if you do pins the way you're stitching, always have your point where you're going to start stitching, so you just pull them backwards. Oh, and we're doing everything at once. We're ambitious here. You can do one side at a time, but for me it's a time waster, so pre-fold it, pin it, and you can sew this 2 different ways. I'll show you that in a second. Do this one over here. And try to, you know, sort it even. Otherwise, you know, you get the little, you'll have uneven little holder things. Like I said, you can do one side at a time, because it doesn't matter how you stitch these particular ones, it's not going to get, the stitching is not going to be seen when you're done. I screwed up yesterday on the one I sewed. I didn't have it center. Let's do it this way. This is my front. So, wow, okay. So, let's say, oh, why do I miss my center? It's close enough. Set a black line. Go there. We'll check it before I had it way off yesterday. Doesn't look bad though. Nobody notices. Yeah, it's pretty even. So, ish. The other one's like way over here, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so 2 ways you can do this. Let's get back to the machine. Okay. So you can either zigzag stitch, which my machine has different zigzags, but you can just zigzag stitch if you want. I straight stitches, I don't do zigzags hardly anymore. If you think it's really going to need the abuse, you can take the abuse, but I don't think it is. I'm just going to do straight stitch. So, you know, wherever, it doesn't, anywhere that's on this part, you can stitch. You can stitch close to the bottom, which I don't usually do because it might miss the other side. So we're going to go approximately center. And let me show you this. This wheel, you can manually turn this wheel. Always turn it the same direction it's supposed to go, because when you put the reverse, it's still the same direction. I'm going to do a little manually because I don't want to kill my needle on my pin here. And do my back 4th stitch. Now I can pull the needle out. Go forward again. Just go a few times. I don't bother breaking my thread in between. Doesn't really matter. Slower you go, more likely your needle is to slide instead of, you know, break. And if you feel it foam, you know, it's a lot easier to, whoops, stop it. Although I still have broke needles doing it manually, so yeah, it can happen. I'm famous for it. If it can be messed up, I can do it. And oh my. Then you can either cut these threads, just pull them. I'm just gonna pull them. I got good sturdy back and forth there, so it's not gonna come unstitched on me. Not enough to matter anyway.
We've been making great tasting coffee for over 100 years. But what makes us different isn't just how long we've been around. It's how far we're willing to go in pursuit of the perfect cup. We select only the finest beans and use our 4 generations of family roasting experience to give you the richest, most delicious coffee around. Find community coffee at your local grocery store or visit
these other ones that we preset up. Oh, not totally preset up. We need to fold the beans. Let's do this one because it's better. Make sure. Why am I not showing up on the other one? Did I not hit play? We're going to do the other side until we're close to that. Alright. Oops. A little bit further than that. That might be a little close. This is what I decided to be my right side or wrong side. It's the wrong side. I always try to stitch on the right side of the fabric because sometimes, sometimes machines screw up in the back a little bit more than they do the front. And it's easier to notice when it screws up in the front. So we're going to overlap just a smidgen. And I'm just doing it halfway-ish, center basically where I stitched. And this is going to be a little bit trickier. I just did it once. Well, I'll line up the back side. Make sure they're even-ish. All right. Two whole viewers. Well, if you're watching and it's after the fact, I appreciate it actually. If you like learning how to do different crafts, it depends on what I'm doing, in the mood for, what I think I need. This is how I'm getting my house crafts done. I would love it if you followed. Let's see. Make sure those are even-ish. Like I said, you can do more pins. I mean, I just don't need them. Okay, so we're gonna, now that we know about where we're gonna be, oops, Let's pin that on there so I get it not messed up. Okay, I'm still mumbling, sorry. Did I do that kind of low? No, it's okay. Pin. I need a pin. Okay. So we're just gonna get this off here. Don't need those. Kind of a little crooked, but that's okay. Cut my angles because I know where they're going to be. You can do this beforehand. I just tend to get better results by. Fine, do that way. Get rid of you. Just, just like I said, just a smidgen past. Try to line up with the even, but then it shows the. Just don't burn your fingers. So I'm down right next to my fingertips. Back of the iron tends to be hotter, just so you know. Ow! Ow! Pins are sharp. Alright, get those out of the way, because they're being a nuisance too. Oh, one of the things I was going to show you like sign hats too, because I misplaced one and I can't, and like they're not really selling the fun ones anymore for some reason. I mean, like I got the Grinch one, but iron it. Iron it. Make it a little bit easier. I'll lay it all flat again. Make sure it's where it needs to be. And the back one, if you do it, do it a little shorter because you don't want it to show. And don't, obviously don't leave your iron on too long to scorch your stuff. Last thing you need is a burn iron mark on stuff. Alrighty. So we're sewing this all one. You can do one at a time. I would do the back first and then the front. But this is a time-saving effort. So if you're not comfortable with it, don't. Or, practice. It just takes a little practice. And honestly, my dad taught me how to sew. He grew up poor, knew how to sew. He bought a sewing machine, and he never sewed before either, really. And he made a leather jacket based off of the jacket he always wears. It was really awesome, actually. It turned out really good looking. So you can start anywhere first. I like to start at the short ends, because it gets them out of the way. I'm going to reinforce this a bit. Make sure it stays. Then we're going to turn, remove my needles. And I can get rid of this right now, so it's not a nuisance when I come back. Get it all. Okay, so this is a little bit more critical to keep these lined up. So you have to keep an eye on it, because sometimes they like to shift. So if you have to, go slow. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be like right at the edge or anything. I'm about third to halfway down. Yeah, whatever works. Just make sure that they're fairly lined up so that more annoying threads are going to stick out and do your sense. Okay. So just double check as you're going along. Even you have to go super slow. Machines will go slow if you want it to. Some machines are slower than others. If you have an industrial machine, those things are Speedy Gonzales. And I know because I used to work in a swimwear place. Got like their highest score on their dexterity test, so they put me in the hardest thing. Thanks. And I could never make quota. So I ended up only lasting, they laid me off after about 6 months. Because I could never get quota to actually earn extra money. Which kind of sucked. Bobbin thread, am I? Nope. I'm worried about that. I haven't, switched the bobbin in a while. Alright. Put a little back and forth here. And if you did this right, your backside should be pretty close. If you're paranoid, you can always pull in a little bit more. Try not to keep your fabric out of the way so you're not sewing underneath. I've done that so many times. Either it gets tucked underneath or tucked on top and just sew right over it and you have to unstitch everything. Sometimes, you get a little bit of pucker and you need to stretch it a little bit. But hold both sides when you stretch it a little bit so that you're not trying to break your needle. And you can feel the feed. My husband's watching, but he's not really, paying attention because he's playing games. Not really his thing. So, how long's it been? Hour. Oh, that's a good time. So, it only took me an hour to do this much. Because I messed up, it looks a little weird on the back, but that doesn't matter. Oh. So, it looks a little weird on the back because I messed up right there. It's not that big of a deal. And as you can see, I missed a little bit right there. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not critical. It's not like clothing or anything. And you might only use it for one season anyway. So, we've got the banner. All we need now is the Velcro. So, the only Velcro I have right now is this double-sided stuff. So, and I found out it's not quite the right size, so I had to cut it a little less than a square. Alright, so this is my front, I've decided. So we're going to fold, because we're folding it back, that's where we want Velcros on the inside. So we're going to put one piece right there, and I'm doing the soft side here, the fuzzy side. Doesn't really matter what you do, it's, your choice. I'm just doing this way. Because, Velcro is going to be used a lot. The camera's over here, so I get 2 cameras. It's confusing. We're gonna do some extra stitching. We're gonna go kind of slow because Velcro is kind of thick and sometimes it pisses the machine off. Because you're gonna be pulling it off and on, you want some extra stitches there so that you don't have to worry about it coming undone easily. And don't use, I I know there's fabric ones that have that self-stick stuff on there. If you need it to stay on while you're trying to do this, get some iron-on stuff. That's anything sticky will gum up your needle and you'll end up breaking it. And 3 back and forth should be good. Just, you know, forward, back, forward. Might want to do a little bit more right here, but that's not that critical. Like I said, you only end up using it for 1 season. Now, I'll go forward. Just be careful when you're twisting all the way around. Make sure nothing's underneath there. Yeah. Zoom in a little bit more. Focus. Alright. And you got your first piece of Velcro on. So, Velcro. And the other one, so just figure out where it's going to go. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So, I figure it might be as much as that far away. So, you want your Velcro approximately right there. You can just, you know, stick it like this and check it. But then you have to tear it off. So, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always do this one longer or this one longer, either one. And, you know, have a little bit of leeway. I want the Velcro right there. And pinning Velcro on kind of sucks. It's not, like, easy or anything. It's really thick plastic. So this is the rough side. And I don't know how you know, if you know how Velcro was invented. It was a guy was walking along, had stuff stick to his socks. He's like, I wonder if I can make it a connection, a thing that attaches that way. And this is what he came up with, and there's been all kinds of Velcro ever since. And yes, I'm older than Velcro. Because it was invented when, like, 80s, 90s. 80s, I think. And Velcro isn't fantastic in the cold, so if it gets a lot of abuse, it'll probably come undone, but in freezing temperatures. But for something like this, it's not that big of a deal. For clothing, it'd be more big of a deal. And your sewing machine should not have a problem sewing this at all. And I don't change my needle out for anything thicker. It's the 11. The only sometimes you need a thicker needle for like leather, but not because the leather is thicker, because it needs a bigger hole and it tends to cut your thread. That's been my experience. And there we go. We have Velcro for the banner. So, get confused. Pinch, stretch, yeah. So that's your Velcro, goes on the banner. So I would show you how to put it on it, but this one doesn't come off because I made a mistake. So you would slide these little tabs over this, and then your Velcro keeps it from flapping and wrapping around your post. So it keeps it close to the edge so that it doesn't wrap around the top. I mean, it'll still flap, but it won't fly away and wrap around everything. And that is the flag. I'd expected it to take a little longer, but I've done it, 4 times now. So there. Let's see if I can get you a better picture. And if you're doing the rolling cutter using one of these, it's fantastic. So, there's the Velcro. So that is your banner. And it's all done. You did it yourself. It was easy. I mean, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I mean, I don't think these are perfectly even, but I mean, little mistakes. I mean, it's gonna go in your yard. I mean, who cares? So, these little measuring tapes, which I talked about in the last video, they're great. They're nice, you know. And they retract back. You can get them Dollar Tree. Oh, not Dollar Tree, but some sewing stores, some grocery stores. And well, that's it. Thanks for watching. It's really short today. I might do another one playing a game or something, but I don't know yet. So, there you go. Banner, finally. It did it all the way through without screwing up on me. And I got it right, so I think I'm going to download the other video and delete it, so it's not confusing. And I'm going to look at the other videos and probably delete them. Oh, and I don't have the sign here. So, Wednesday. Wednesday, I am doing a Dawn We Now, our Plague Apparel thing with little hooks. It's outside drying because I put some sealing on it. That's going to be for my daughter, who's got me into streaming and helped me fix my streaming app so that it doesn't screw up on me. So, and I'm staring at that instead of the camera looking at you guys because I'm weird. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching afterwards. This was different. So I only did this because it screwed up so bad yesterday, so that we'd have a complete video. So we got the sewing first, and then we've got the iron-on stuff after, and I've got to go check to see how well that worked out. Because I printed it with using inkjet printer, and I used Photoshop to cut it, you know, to print it in 2 pieces because I wanted it cut in half and stuff. I don't know how to do it in the free programs. I'm sorry. I don't use them. I have Photoshop. I don't pay the monthly. I have the CS6. I have the older one. So I don't get all the new cool stuff. But, you know. Oh, thanks. See ya. I'll shut up now. Where's my ending soon?